Okay. Anyway, thank you all and welcome to this class, EC 303, Spatial and Stochastic Dynamics in Biology. Okay. So what I will do today basically is to sort of give a broad overview and answer any questions you may have on the course. That way it helps you decide whether you want to continue taking this course or not. Okay. So I'll share my screen. I hope it works. Okay, I'm unable to share the screen now. I think all the permissions have been need to be redone. So I'll have to quit Zoom and come back again, okay? Okay, let's see if it works. Okay. Okay, can you see the screen now? And can you hear me as well?
Yes, we can.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Okay, so this is the Canvas page for this course, and I think I have sent you invitations for every one of you. And if you haven't received, just let me know by email. Okay, so so this course, I'll give you a brief overview of the course today. So once we have the recorded videos up, we will provide the recorded videos link. Recorded videos of the previous course, which is a prerequisite for this course. They're all available on this YouTube playlist. So for some of you who want to take this course, but you haven't taken the previous course, please go through the relevant background materials as and when required. Okay, and this is the link for the Zoom, but I think this we will upgrade over the next week or so. Okay, so basically, let me just go over what are the topics that we'll cover in this course and what is the expected level of prerequisites and mathematics you need to. Okay, so basically the broad idea is to understand, biological systems with a focus on ecological systems, considering the stochasticity and spatial nature of ecological systems. So we will start with the the very important concept of random walks and Brownian motion, and how from starting there how animals move, how more generally how organisms move, and what are the approximations that help us understand how organisms move at the individual level as well as at the population level. Population level approximations are called diffusion approximations. So we'll see how to use these mathematical ideas to sort of develop theories of how animals move, theories of how population spreads, and also how do we actually use them in the context of real data sets. Okay, and then after learning something about Brownian motion and diffusion approximation, we will go to studying. We will look at single species population dynamics. In EC 201, we really did not cover what is the role of stochasticity. A little bit of stochasticity we did cover, but that was done at a very crude level, without going in depth. Okay, so here we'll really try to understand what about single species and two species dynamics that changes because of the stochasticity and the spatial dynamics. So to do that, you'll have to learn a lot of new techniques called reaction diffusion equations, and maybe even, I'm not sure if I will cover integral differential equations, but certainly reaction diffusion equations, some of the very early models of how populations and gene flow happens via equations called Fisher-Kolmogorov equations. And to understand these sort of systems, we need to also understand methods called Langevin equations and Foucault-Planck equations. So I will also introduce and these topics. Okay, and once we learn how to understand single species dynamics, we will then naturally move to understand multi-species dynamics, more specifically in the context of prey with prey and also competition. Okay, and then the last topic in this course will be sort of to understand self-organization and pattern formation, which is really ubiquitous in biological systems. So these come in the form of what we call Turing patterns. They're really, really fascinating. They have applicability all the way from developmental biology to understanding large-scale ecosystems. And also the use of what we call agent-based models, individual-based models, okay, where we really account for the fact that biology consists of individuals, and so therefore we model right at the individual levels. Okay, and understanding many of these concepts require sort of indirectly the use of non-equilibrium statistical mechanics and some concepts of phase transitions. And as and when they occur, I will also introduce them. Okay, so this is the sort of broad topics that we will be covering, and the exact pace and exact topics that we will cover is not fully deterministic. It might change a little bit based on the overall pace and the overall background of students involved in the class. But I think broadly speaking, we probably will be able to cover fundamentals of these 4 topics I have mentioned here. Okay, so any questions on the topics? Okay, if there are no questions, so let me talk about the prerequisites a bit more. So as I mentioned in the announcement email, you do need to know the background that we covered in EC201. So I will not be redoing any of them. In fact, what I will do is, the first assignment will have basically components that we covered in the, EC201. That way, it will sort of, by doing the assignment, you will naturally revise many concepts necessary for this course. So basically, both the ecological concepts as well as the mathematical concepts, and they are both assumed for this course. Now, what exactly? Maybe I can give you some more details in terms of what do I mean by ecological concepts? So let's think of population biology, right? Half of this course is about population biology that accounts for spatial dynamics of populations. So which means that I expect that you already know basics of population biology. For example, you must know both discrete time and continuous time simple models of populations like logistic map, continuous time logistic model, or even simple harvesting models. So I expect that you're already familiar with these, and if you have forgotten these, you can always go back to the recorded lectures from EC201. And secondly, all the mathematical tools. For example, we discussed a lot about stability, equilibrium. How do we find equilibrium and how do we find stability of equilibrium populations, right? So again, that is something I expect that you know and you have understood well. Okay, so we will not be repeating those things because those will form the basics that we will carry forward in this course. Okay, and basically you must have some comfortableness in being able to write and understand differential equations models of populations. Okay, of both single and 2 species. Okay, of course, if you have, let's say, read this 5 years ago, I think that is totally fine. Or if you have read this in different contexts, it is also totally fine, as long as you are willing to sort of catch up on your own. Okay, and then all the necessary programming. For example, numerical integration methods that requires you to solve population models. So that is something I assume you know. And which basically requires familiarity with basic tools like writing for loops, while loops, if conditions, and so on. Okay, and also because this is a course on stochastic dynamics of populations, I expect that you do have some basic familiarity with random numbers, like what does it mean to what do we mean by a probability distribution function or a probability mass function, some basic distributions like normal distribution, binomial distribution. How do we calculate the mean and variance of these distributions? Again, if you have done this really long ago, that's fine. You may have done them in a basic probability course, or you may have done them in a statistics course. If you are comfortable being able to revise those skills, that's again fine. We may not use all of them very explicitly, but the fact that you have an intuition for probability is really important for this course. Okay, but anything more advanced than mean, variance, and distributions, they will be covered in the course. So I will cover them, because you usually don't learn anything about stochastic processes until you take very advanced courses in mathematics. So I will be covering those. And in terms of now if you are somebody who comes from a mathematics background, obviously, given the focus of this course, I will not be covering those topics at the level or at the depth that a mathematician looks at these equations. So the treatment of mathematics in this course will be somewhat based on what we call hand waving and also intuitive, rather than proving rigorous mathematical theorems. Okay, so that's the prerequisites part. So any questions on the prerequisites? Especially if you haven't taken EC 201 in the past. No questions? Is everyone fine? I hope I am able to hear. Can somebody just confirm? Sure.
Yes.
Okay. So there were no questions then, right? Okay. So okay, that's about prerequisites. So the grading, this is tentative. There will be homework, maybe about 5 homework, and then as in the previous course, there will be some classwork, maybe not as many as them in the EC 201, where you will work in group and then you will submit an assignment by the end of the class. Let's see how that goes. Okay, so roughly equal weightage for them, and then I envision a project here. Okay, I haven't thought of an exam for this course, but maybe one midterm exam. Okay, a short midterm exam. In addition, I will also ask students to transcribe one video class and make good lecture notes. Think of it as contributing to lecture notes that everybody else can then use. Okay, that will also be part of this grading. And I may include a small midterm exam. That way, the basics of the course. And of course, I expect that you will learn a lot on your own via the project work as well as homework and classworks. Okay. So some general points on assignments and it's not glasswork. This is classworks. Okay. So assignments, classworks, and project constitute a major way you learn in this course. So basically, there's a lot of self-learning involved, and in fact, probably even much more than EC 201. And I want to emphasize that the topics can be a bit more technical and bit more difficult, but that doesn't mean that there is, it still means that there is a lot of intuition about biological systems that is necessary and important. Okay, and this course does require commitment in terms of time, and is not super easy. So as I say, even for EC 201, if you are an auditing student, you are absolutely welcome. But unless you actually do the assignments, and attend all the classes, it will be incredibly difficult to audit. So for example, this will not be a course where let's say if you have missed 2 classes, you can just easily hop into a next class. That will not be easy unless you can really catch up with what we covered in the class. Okay. And as you do know, if you have taken EC 201, usually what's covered in the sort of, one class follows up to become the classwork or the assignment that you submitted in the class, right? So which means that being up to date in terms of the course content is really important. So although I'm saying it's not suitable for a general auditing student, I don't mean it's not suitable for any auditing student. For example, in the previous semester in EC 201, about 10 students, 10 to 15 students, if I'm right, which is actually a pretty huge number, by the way, completed auditing the course, except for, let's say, maybe for the last 10 to 20% of the course. And I think of them, even 3 to 4 of them up to the end term exam, they were able to do. And if you are also able to do that something similar in this course, you're absolutely welcome. But I just want to warn you that it does take a lot of time, especially if you're taking a regular semester load of courses like an UG student, typical UG student. I do not recommend this to be an auditing course over on top of all the other 5 courses that you're taking. Okay, so I do note that there are some IASC students who want to audit this course. Do you really have a strong reason why you don't want to credit? Including, I mean, of course, understand PhD students post comprehensive exam, you cannot credit the courses. But UG students, or if you are in a PhD first and second year, is there a reason why you want to audit but not credit? Because if you really are serious about being able to follow the course, you will be doing as much work as a crediting student. So I really don't see a good reason, why you should not credit the course. And I want to add that dropping the course midway affects the students crediting the course. Now, why is it so? Why is it primarily because, as I mentioned, there are going to be classwork that you have to submit, and the classwork is submitted in groups. So now if you're part of a group which has some crediting students, some auditing students, and if you drop out midway without informing and don't turn up for classes without informing, it's going to affect the quality of work that the other students will submit, right? Who will be graded for their submissions. Okay, so therefore I really, if you're going to audit, I really request that please complete the entire course. And but I do understand that you want some time to think through and see how suitable this course is. So what I think one way is to just wait for 2 or 3 weeks and see how you are able to like the course and whether you think it's suitable or not. So let's say roughly from 2 weeks from now, you will have a first assignment due date. I think that will give you a fair idea, and you would have had one lab on coming Friday, right? That would give you some fair idea of whether this course is suitable or not. Okay, is that reasonable? Any questions on? So this is a good time to ask any questions on crediting, auditing, any doubts you may have about the grading and other issues.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, may I know your name, please?
I'm Pavitra, sir.
Hi. Yeah.
So, sir, what exactly can we expect from the project part of this course?
So project part of the course, see, here is my sort of plan. My plan is that of the 4 topics I cover here, I expect that a good I would have touched upon most of the topics by the end of September. Now, what I don't know is how many. So this semester is also a semester of a lot of holidays, right? Okay. Now, I hope that many of those holidays don't fall on a Friday. If that happens, then the course will slow down. If not by the end of September, maybe by mid-October, I think I would have covered almost all the topics. Okay. Now, what I expect in your project, we will redefine it we'll define it precisely by the end of August to be precise. There are 2 possibilities I am considering. One possibility is you take a topic. I'm going to recommend a whole bunch of topics. You can take one of those topics, read about them, read the latest literature on the topic, and then try to reproduce some of the results that they have reproduced. They have sort of say in those papers, and and also following on that, I may ask you to also come up with if you were to now follow up on that topic, what's the new research question that you would want to ask? And I may even ask you to make some progress in that direction. Okay, so the project will involve reading research literature, reproducing some of the results either via simulations or analytical calculations, possibly a combination of both. And I may also ask you to do some of your own research as a part of the project. So the exact details we will work out by the end of August.
All right, sir. Sir,
And
another question I
it
have
could
is,
also be another possibility is you just leave out my entire list, and you can also have a project entirely of your own that you come up with entirely on your own, and you take up that project, and and as long as it connects to the broad topic of stochastic and spatial dynamics in biology, that should also be fine. Okay, for example, although my focus will be entirely on ecological systems, maybe you want to study infectious dynamics, okay, accounting for space and stochasticity, or or at least one of them, one of the two components. Okay, that's also fine. Or you want to study biofilm spatial pattern formation, which I will not be covering in the class, but I would have covered the underlying concepts in terms of agent-based models. You are welcome to incorporate do that on your own.
all right, sir. Sir, another question I have is, sir, for the classwork part, will it be similar to EC 201? Like, would it be on Fridays or would it be on both the days? Like
It will be on
presentations.
Fridays. Be on Fridays.
All right. Also, it will be a group. It will be a group presentation like the previous one, right?
Yeah. 2 or 3 students. Yeah. Three students maybe.
All right. All right. Thank you, sir.
3 or 4. Yeah. I think we had up to five, sometimes even 6 in the previous semester because the class size was big. But this time I don't expect such a big class size. So maybe more like four per group. Yeah. 3 or 4 per group. Yeah.
All right.
So as of now,
Thank you,
19
sir.
of you have expressed interest in crediting the course. So what I recommend in terms of the groups is all the crediting students, recommend what group do you want to form. You should pick up what group you want to form among yourselves. And likewise, all the auditing students, but what I certainly don't recommend is mixing up of crediting and auditing students, because as I experienced last time, some of the students dropped out and the group became, sometimes there were just 2 students in a group, but they were both crediting and that they had some difficulties. So, I would recommend that right now, form a group of, the group must have only crediting students or only auditing students or a mixture. But, you will come up with your own groups, like last time.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah. Please tell your name and yeah.
I'm Naveen, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had not taken EC 201. So
Mm-hmm.
I was not very clear on the classwork part of the grading. Can you just elaborate on that?
Uh-huh. So, basically on Fridays, like the coming Friday, I would, teach one concept for maybe 1 hour. So usually that happens on days and maybe some early part of Friday. I may cover one concept. Okay, and then I will ask you to solve a follow-up of that in the same class in groups, and you're usually required to submit by the end of the class. And typically, because of the online mode now, I do give up to the end of the weekend, Saturday, end of the day, or something like that. And you are required as a group to make one submission on the problem that I have given. Okay, and for example, some of them might be analytical calculations. Some of them might be coding also. For example, I will, in that such a case, I would give you already a code. The code solves some specific question. Okay, and I will solve this small extension. The idea is that you also learn by doing on your own in the class, and then you make a submission at the end of the class. And typically, they all had 3 to 4% weightage, all of the assignment submissions, and depending on how well you do, you get usually give a letter grade for them. Let's say A, B, or C, and they all have some marks. And usually, as long as you attend, the grading is not very strict in those. So yeah, that's the way it works.
Hi. My name is
Yeah.
Lakshman. I am a research associate from Center for Neuroscience.
Hi,
So,
Alex.
so given the nature of the work, I can attend only the Wednesday's class, but not the Friday. So what I have in mind is to go through what happened the Friday's recording later in the day in the evening. So in that case, how will this group work go on?
So are you going to create an audit?
Audit, yeah. So
Ah.
I'm a
So
research staff,
then,
so I can't.
so what I would then recommend, to be very honest, is just all the lectures will be available on YouTube.
All right.
So then I would just say, watch the recordings on YouTube.
Okay, all right.
That's what I would recommend. So for any of you who still wants to audit the course, but if you are unable to attend the classes, or if you cannot submit assignments, because all the lectures will be available on YouTube, you're always welcome to watch them anytime.
But I would like to turn in the assignments and the project too. It's just that
Okay.
I can't. That Friday afternoon is something that I'll be occupied in the lab. So
But Friday's a major miss, no?
yeah. Okay.
I mean, if it was a Wednesday class, I would have considered, but it's a Friday class, no.
All right. Okay. Thanks.
Because it also requires us to grade, so so it'll be work for us also. So if you are able to attend the classes, then you're more than welcome. I mean, we don't distinguish whether auditing or crediting otherwise.
Along similar lines, actually. So, hi, I'm Shivam, and I'm not a student at IISc. Will the assignments be like available online, or like can we just stick around on the classworks?
Canvas page.
Yeah.
So usually
and not-
last time I did not allow that because
Okay.
from the point of view of grading, we don't know who is who. It just becomes very hard for TAs and for us also. So anybody who doesn't attend classes and submit assignments, we will remove from the Canvas. But if there is some way I can just share all the assignments, let's say via some Dropbox or something like that, I can do that actually. Yeah, that should be possible.
Okay, thank you.
But if you're not attending classes live, and if you're not submitting assignments, so both of these are necessary. Okay, then I just encourage you to follow the YouTube recordings. We will find some way to just put all the assignments in some Dropbox folder and give a link from the YouTube channel. Okay.
Yeah,
Or if there is any other way, let me know. But Canvas, we want to keep it only for those who are attending the class, because there will be a lot of innumerable number of announcements that go. Also, okay, the class is delayed by 5 minutes today. This kind of announcements to very important things like how should we do exams, right? Now, if you are not answering those, I am not sure if everybody has answered or not, or is it that it's one of if some of you who are not full-time attending. So that confusion I just want to avoid. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I had a quick question. By when do you want us to submit the group members? Because there'll be a Friday class this Friday, correct?
Yes, by Friday morning. Thursday night, that way we can create the group on that.
Right, okay.
Yeah. I'll send an email on that.
Yeah. And how many people per group? Oh, that'll be in the email.
4. Yeah, all the details will be in the email. Yeah. But yeah, 4. 4 is fine. Yeah, 4 should be fine.
Yes. Okay, all right.
But not 5. Not 5. And this is not same as the project group, by the way. Project, we will decide depending on the number of crediting students who will be there. So we'll decide how the projects will happen. It could be each. I mean, if there are 20 students, I guess we can decide what to do, whether it's an individual project or maybe a group project. We can have a discussion and decide by the end of August.
All right, thank you.
So this is Sharush. There's another.
Hi, Sharush. Hi.
Hi. Yeah. There's another ecology course called quantitative ecology. At the same time,
On
I've been
Wednesdays,
told.
right?
Yeah. So I've been told it'll be like just YouTube videos being uploaded and then discussions during this Wednesday 11 to 1 slot. But there's a clash there. So would this be a problem when it comes to exams and stuff?
Okay. So you're planning to take both. So how many of you are also taking that course 305? So I do know that 1, 2, several of you. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, Sharaj, are you also taking that? I don't see your hands up.
Yes, sorry, I'll raise my hand.
So 2 of you plan to take that course. So one possibility is that we can try to change the timings for this class. Uh, so I did anticipate this. So, but there are only a few slots that are available though. So should we just do a poll and check what works for all of you? There are 4 of you now who want to credit both the courses, right? So just to be sure, you're both creating the courses, right? Not auditing the course, right? Sean, Minal, Vivek, and Sharaj.
Yeah.
Okay. So we will just do a poll and check. For example, let me just ask you right away. Will when Thursday same time work?
Works for me. This is Vivek.
But I have to check with everybody who is creating now. Okay. So I can. So should we do that right away then? No, I did anticipate. I also have a poll ready with me. I can just run the poll and what time works for everyone. Is that fine? Okay. So give me 1 minute. I'll share the link for the poll. So this poll must be filled only by those who are planning to credit. Okay. Okay. So I'll share in the chat box here. Is that fine? Okay. Okay. But I just hope that there is somebody who wants to create but who hasn't come to the class. Do you know any such student who wants to credit but hasn't come to the class? You can lower your hand, by the way. Okay, I've shared the link to the form. Can you please take the poll right away? Only creating students, okay, not others. So we'll just finalize the timings at the end of this class. Okay, 8 of you have filled the form and more need to. Please.
Hi, I'm getting a
Hi.
login failed. Is it required to log into a Google account?
No, doesn't require.
Okay,
You
I'll
don't need
try
that.
again.
It's just a form. Maybe just use a different browser, the one that you're currently using. Okay, is there anybody who is crediting and still hasn't submitted the form?
I haven't. I'm still trying.
Okay. So Monday 4 to 5:30 seems to work for a lot. It's not the most convenient time for me though.
I could submit.
You're okay. Anybody who is still pending to submit? Okay, there are 13 responses. So for 11 of you, 4 to 5:30 on Monday, or even 3 to 5 for 10 of you, 3:30 to 5 p.m. on Monday works. Okay. Here's my question: for who doesn't work? For who doesn't this work? By the way, Monday 4 to 5:30.
So that won't work for me. Laksha this side.
Okay. Anybody else? You have a lab, is it?
Yes, sir. I mean, I'm in lab that time at that point of time. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes, in fact, Wednesday, the time I have given now works only for 6 people. Is it right? So the other 5 people doesn't work, is it right? Okay. So it looks like Monday 4 will work for most of you. But that's actually rather inconvenient time for me. But can I just think and get back to you on this? One possibility, I mean, is that like the last semester we can have the attendance for Wednesday optional, but the only problem with that is it's going to be a much smaller class. I think, but some minimum number of students in the class will help make sure that I'm going at the right pace and I'm also clarifying all the doubts. So as of now, Monday 4 to 5:30 p.m. should work for most of you. Okay. Okay, so I will confirm by email about this. Okay. Either way, next week there will be no class or no lab. Okay. So we'll have a Friday class for sure anyway. This Friday, which is at 2 p.m. on that we will have anyway. We will see the attendance on that day again, and who all turn up, and then we will make a final decision on some Friday is the final. Is that okay with everyone? Okay. So yeah, so let's go by that. So most likely we can go by we can go Monday 4 to 5:30, but I'll just confirm this on Friday after thinking through carefully. Okay. So any other question before we close the class today? So because as I said, my pad is my writing pad isn't working, so I can't take the next rest of the half an hour anyway. Okay. So anyway, thanks everyone then. there were 19 people who expressed interest in crediting. So only 13 have filled the form. So I don't know if the other 6 people are still interested or not. So so we will decide on Friday. Okay. So if you have no questions, then nice meeting you all. I'll see you on Friday. So auditing students, you can attend the class on Friday and then see how it works for you. And then we will decide. You can decide by the end of the first assignment, which probably will be 2 weeks from now. Nilay, you have a question?
Yes, sir. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, could I have like a minute after you're done?
Yes. I was actually going to suggest that too. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay, so if you don't have any questions, you can leave the meeting now. We will meet on Friday at 2 p.m.
I had a quick question, Shikhara here.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So the Wednesday timing worked very well for me. Monday evening, I don't know what the new time will be, but if I have an overlap in class, is it okay for me to watch the Wednesday lectures on YouTube and then attend the Friday? Friday works for sure.
Yeah, I will let you know this on Friday, on the coming Friday. Okay, but most likely that should be fine.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So Friday, if you want to audit or credit, Friday is a compulsory class that you cannot escape. Now, but if you want to sort of properly audit or credit, I will certainly consider not making the Monday class or Wednesday class, whichever it is, not compulsory. But assignments and attending Friday is a must for anyone who wants to continue. Okay.
Hi, can I ask a
Shambhita.
quick question?
Sure. Yes, Shambhita. Yes.
Yeah, I was wondering if people like me who are not affiliated with any institute currently can actually credit the course.
Credit the course.
Yeah.
So what does it mean to credit though?
Yeah, I don't know.
Crediting is
you get a proper grade and
no, I can give, but I don't know if anybody will recognize it though. I mean,
right.
I don't mind. I can grade you for everything, but but the question is, if it helps you, yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Okay. I mean, just because the question was about how many crediting students and auditing students are there, so.
So yeah, the crediting students become important from a formal point of view.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think if you, for example, if you attend everything and if you submit all the assignments and everything, I can also grade you as if you are a regular student. In fact, I have done that for the last semester, but except that they didn't ask for a certificate. If you want, I can also provide that.
Right. So I think I'm mostly available on either Wednesday, Monday, or Friday.
Okay.
In case like I end up missing, let's say, one class, is there a possibility just where I can watch the video and
yes,
the
absolutely,
assignments?
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so others who don't have a question can leave now. Nilay wants to meet me briefly, so he can stay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Akshay, Piyush, AFKJ. Who's AFKJ? I'll just remove AFKJ. Is it fine? Okay.
Yes, sir. So I'm audible, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I really wanted to credit this course, but I'm kind of facing a major problem here. This time I don't know, for some reason no professor was willing to change the course timings at all, and the Friday
course timings.
Yeah, the class timings.
Okay.
And then on Fridays, this course is actually clashing with 3 other courses.
Oh gosh. So you'll have to drop 2 other courses. I mean, 2 courses anyway after 3. Oh yeah. So 4 courses.
I'm
at
having
the
4
same time.
clashes at the same time. I'm having
Oh
4
gosh.
clashes.
Okay. Okay.
And the issue is that two of those are engineering courses, and so if I drop either of those, then I'll not have enough I'll have to have problems later taking engineering, fulfilling my engineering credits. So I'm in kind of a dilemma here. So what I want to know is, like, will you be offering this course next year also, or is it like EC 201 where you offer it alternate years? Sir, you're muted.
So this I offer once in 2 or 3 years.
I
So
see.
this will not be. So 2019 was the last time I had offered, and then 2016 was the one previous year when I had offered this. I think 14, 15, 16, something 14, 15, 16, or 14, 15, 16, and then 19, and now, yeah, this is the 4th or 5th time that I'm offering. Yeah. It will, I mean, certainly not next year, but maybe the following year, maybe yes.
Yeah, because the other issue is that I am starting my 3rd year now, so
Yeah.
I might or might not be here next year.
True. I understand. Yeah.
So,
but it's fine. You can't take all the courses that you want to. It's fine. You can drop
it's
this
like
course.
Yes, sir. I'm in a really bad spot. I'm not even really sure.
What's your major?
I'm a bio major.
Bio major. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know it's a tough thing. I know it's a tough situation, but but this will always happen for some course or the other.
Okay.
And when there are some compulsory courses that you don't have a choice, then they will have a higher priority. Yeah, but it's fine. If you do continue for 5th year for your MSc, then you can take this course.
Yes, sir.
If I am offering in that year, or you can also watch this YouTube videos whenever you have time.
Yes,
maybe in the winter, or maybe some other, next summer and so on.
No, sir. So I mean, I wanted to ask you this, but you clarified it in the class only. So I mean, I'll go to the YouTube videos and I'll try to follow the class in this semester only. And I'll email you if I have any questions.
Sure.
But just because there is no possible way for me to attend the Friday session, that's the only reason.
Yeah. Friday, I cannot waive that, no, because
I understand.
then, I'm sure there are probably 10 other students like you also, right? But there has to be some cutoff on how much.
No, I understand. And I realize that those are super important from EC 201. Missing those will have a very significant problem in terms of the whole thing. Okay.
Also, it's a lab work based course, so
yes,
that makes it.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Good. I mean, I'm sorry to miss you also in the course. It would have been nice if you could continue.